All right, boys, here we go. We got a project that I wasn't planning to do, but here we go. I got a door. I got a spot where I'm going to put the door. On the other side of this is the screen porch. This is a garage space that I would love to be able to use in the wintertime, but I can't get in and out without using the big garage door, which takes all of the warmth out of here every time I have to open and close it. So this is my solution. Hopefully I don't screw it up. Measure that, cut to height. So the opening on this door says fits a rough opening 32¼ by 82 inches. So I need 82 inches on this one. Yeah, so I've gotta cut 2 inches off each of these. Of course, I have my miter saw blocked by a giant door. And then we're gonna push this over here for a second. You can all admire what will eventually be in that place. Always read your safety manuals. And remember, there is no more important safety rule than to wear safety glasses. Okay, so we got our 2 jack studs cut. I'm still going to have to cut top plate there. They framed that and then tipped it into place. So I'm going to have to cut the nails on the top and the bottom using a good old Sawzall. Need a blade that can cut. Need a demolition blade. A blade that'll be okay going through some nails. Let's find one here. Sawzall is the wonderful multi-tool of the construction world. It makes everything possible. Famous last words. Watch this not work very well. Apologize in advance for the loud noises that are about to occur. Seems like I got it. We'll see. That's our 82 tall. Just to make sure, because I'm a dingus. Every time. Oh, behind the door, folks. Okay. Just because we're always doing things backwards. It says rough opening 32¼ 82 tall. We got the 82 tall. Let's make sure we're good here. This is maybe going to be a problem. How did I not see that? 32¼ This is 31½. 32¼ What the heck? 32¼ Dang it. So that's okay. Kind of. Not really. I really did not want to take out 2 studs. I have to reframe an entire doorway. Should have got a 28-inch door. Grr. All right. Thinking time. Back to the drawing board.
"15 minutes later."
All right. So after staring at this thing for a couple minutes and thinking about my screw ups in life, I realized that this is just one of those I'm not a builder, but I stayed at a Holiday Inn one time kind of situations. And while this says I need 32¼ of space for this to fit, the handy dandy tape measure here tells me I only need 31¼ from this side to this side. And I know that I have over here 31¼ and some change. I'm probably going to have 1/8 of an inch to spare. So I think it fits. If it doesn't fit, it's a garage, and you can always fix it later. So we're just going to do it.
So I'm going to start by drilling some holes this way. Mostly concerned about those top corners there. I'm going to go around the other side and run tape across to help it from splitting out and everything when I'm cutting through it. And maybe I won't mess up the siding so much. I'm going to put trim around it anyway, but at least that way it'll kind of, I don't know. I'm just going to do it. So I figure at least that way I can kind of see where on that side it's going to look like it's going to be before I actually make any cuts. I can use tape to make like a nice, this is where the door is going to go kind of thing. And we'll see what that looks like. And yeah, so here we go. Let's drill some holes.
I'll go around the other side. We'll get some nice blue tape. We'll make a door-shaped hole, or a door-shaped box where the hole will be. Just because I feel like I should do it. All right. So here's our wall. We've got holes here, here, and there. I'm just going to connect the dots. That's the door. And then here, go into the shop. Okay. I don't think the tape's going to do anything for us, but it's nice to visualize. We're visualizing. This is what it's going to be. Right here. Come in this door right here. Go right here. Knob right there. In we go. Yeah. Bottle opener. Come out here and hang out when I'm tired of being in there. Yeah. All right, here we are back in what is currently the black hole of the garage, and what will hopefully not be as much of a black hole anymore after we're done. I think it's time to actually cut some stuff. I know I have to put more screws into this. I'm not so dumb to think that I only need 1 screw on each side. It's coming. I just wanted a place so I could do measurements and get the cuts and stuff in. So, question, freehand the line or draw a line? This is in my way. We'll cut through it on the way across. So, got my points there. Well, there's going to be trim on the outside. I can freehand a line because it's going to be covered with trim. We can check. Here, you know what? For the sake of my OCD, here we go. Look at that. Yeah, that's solid government work right there. so I'm not, you know, I'm squaring off of a stud that may or may not actually be square or parallel or any of the things, but it's close enough. Oh, hey, I didn't drill a hole to get the Sawzall in yet. We need a bigger hole. Oh, Forstner bits. Yep. I'm okay. Yep, still okay. Probably sounds a lot worse than it is. Forstner bits, Sarah, are a marvel of drill bit engineering. All right, we got basically a saw on the end. It spins around, and it's got a little sweeping blade that clears out the sawdust as it goes through. What the early pioneers would have done for a set of Forstner bits when they're trying to build their cabins. By the way, that's how you know that somebody knows how to use a tool. When they pick up the drill, they do that 3 times, exactly 3 times. They don't do it 3 times. Don't trust them. Okay. There's daylight coming through. The bit is now on the other side. I just took it off because rather than try to pull it back through. Okay. There you go. I put the longer wood blade on so we can be sure to make it all the way through the wall. I'm going to run it right along the 2x4 that I have in place. Keep everything nice and hunky-dory. I don't know, should I go across the bottom? No, I'll go straight up the wall first. All right, well, in typical video fashion, you didn't see any of what I just did because the battery died. So what I went and did is I drilled some holes in the top corners down there and the bottom as well. And then I started making my cuts. And so far I've cut here across the top and started making my way down here. And then I realized I needed to move the workbench because it was going to be in my way. And it's going to be in the way anyway. I'm going to have to shift it over. And oh my goodness, because I feel like this has not moved since ever. Among the treasures found behind the workbench was Methuselah's basketball. As a matter of fact, I found every other ball that has ever been lost in the history of ever. Birdie from badminton. Even this interesting jar of glass frosting. Brown glass effect for windows, skylights, lamp, etc. You can see that. It's kind of a cool can. Let's see a date on it. Made in the USA by Sapolin Co. Incorporated, New York. Looks like it's never been used. We got liquid in there. Anyway, that's kind of cool. There was also this really dark Federal's pre-election sale. Federal's, it's got a lot of like dirt on it, so it's kind of hard to see. But there's some ads here that are pretty interesting. Like, you can make that out. No iron shirts, $2.99. Regular $3.99. Men's long sleeve dress shirt and sport shirts, assorted permanent press fabrics. Knit slacks, $7.99. Women's shoe clearance, 70% off. You can get a pair of shoes for $2. I don't see a date on this, but that's got to be a while ago. 1972, folks. 1972. Somebody was looking at buying clothes in the garage in 1972 and then set it down and Never came back. Also, one of you guys, my predecessors here, there's a bunch of broken glass back here. Someone clearly broke that window at some point and then didn't get all the glass. So, all right, enough of that. What you missed while you were away, because I'm incompetent with a battery, is I cut all this. I didn't cut all the way down here though. So I'm about here, got to make this cut, and I got to cut across the bottom. I figure the bottom will be last. That way I'm not trying to fight it like tipping. Or sorry, the bottom is done. I did the bottom. The top will be last because I'm not trying to have it tip on me as I'm trying to cut. So it'll be locked in on the top and cut all the way over to the last little bit and then just kind of pop it, and I'll have this hold of this thing in the center so I can keep it from falling in or out. We should be good to go. So let's give it a shot. Let's see if that did it. I know this is riveting view right here. What you can't see is there are some nails through the siding that are holding on to that. There we go. Just had to pop it loose. And we'll just lift the whole mess out of the way. Ha! Da, da, da. Now you can see the messy inside of my garage from the outside of my garage. Fantastic. All right, so let's go on in here. I'm gonna walk back inside the garage. Now we have to address next thing to address here is going to be get the top plate on, sink a couple more screws in here so that this is not going anywhere. All right, so we got our top plate. I don't know if that's the right word. King stud, I don't know. It's gonna go in just like so. Perfect. We'll hit it with some screws. Nice. Solid. All right, I still got that little bit up there. We got to put piece in a piece. Let's double check how fat that needs to be. It's kind of shorty. We're looking at 2.5 and a smidge. We'll cut a 2.5. Not like it really had a whole lot of weight there anyway, but at least it's a connected thing now. Moment of truth. Will it fit? I think that's a game show somewhere. I think it will fit. Isn't that like the forged in fire thing? Will it cut? That's forged in fire is will it cut? This is will it fit? This. Let's get up here. Something I know. Watch, I'm sealing myself in the garage now and I won't be able to get out. Actually, that's good enough for at least seeing if this will work. Let's pull this pin back out. And we have a door. It's going to have to be screwed in and everything still, but we have a door. Folks, we have a door. I need to get the well out and make sure this is going in right. What do we have here? Ah, okay. I see what's going on. It's the siding on the outside of this that's a little bit not as big as the opening. So that up there, if you can see it, is the offending corner. You can see the siding hangs down below the opening made by the 2x4s. There you go, right there. That is the problem right there. So we're going to nip that off real quick so we don't have the door binding on itself. So we're just going to cut off this little bit right here and make it flush across the top. Like there's something in the middle of this door that's hanging up because it's tipping in and out when it's, I'm trying to get it to go. What do we hit? Oh, yeah. Got more siding issues right here in the middle. Actually, on this side. Well, I had the tape on it when I was cutting it before. Again, it's gonna be covered with molding. So let's try that again. Ugh. So safety glasses are important. It keeps the stuff out of your eyes, but there's nothing to keep it out of your mouth. Ah, I see. I see. It's this little bit right here. Tiny little nub. Okay. You've done it. Oh. What? It's still tipping in the middle on something. The top end now, but it's pivoting like Chandler in a stairwell. I don't know why. Again, this is all a problem that I've created for myself by not giving myself any wiggle room. because I am not a professional. But I will, right here, it's right here. I will be victorious in this life or the next. Oh no, that line goes, I will have my vengeance in this life or the next. Nothing about victory.
Approximately 10 hours later.
One can hope. So, will it fit? Place your bets. Ha ha! I am victorious. Da da da. It is nice and not janky. We have a door, folks. We have a freaking door that looks like crap right now because I have to do molding and fix stuff I just broke. But we have a door. Day 2, we'll be cleaning it up and putting in stuff like a doorknob. I'm tired of going to bed. Day 2, have a doorknob, the last step before the door is functionally complete. I'll do the trim later. The doorknob here says it is a 1-tool installation. So we'll give that a try. See how this goes. All right, let's crack into this sucker. Watch me blow all the parts all over the floor. There you go, right there. All right, we got our instructions. Do you guys do this too? Whenever I get a package of screws, I don't ever open the package. I just take the screws and I like stab them through the plastic one at a time. Is that weird? Does that make me like a psychopath or something? I know, you guys probably have an awful view over there. Just trust me, you're not missing anything. It's just a knob on the backside. And I'm twisting the screws in by hand. Riveting. Riveting television. Okay, lock is attached. Now I still have little screws to put in here. I got to put that in. So that's what these other little screws are for. We're just going to test its function real quick. That locks, that unlocks. We are operational. And then the all important keys, make sure that that actually works. It is locked. And that is unlocked. There we go. They work. All right, so I guess the last little bit is stabbing the little screws out of the bottom of this bag and attaching the, what is it, striker plate? Is that what they call it? All right, here we go. You want to see this? I can bring you in closer. Here, one sec. This is for you, Sarah. I know you would feel left out if I didn't change the camera angle so you could see this up close. Just in case, you know, you're unaware of how screws work. How do we do this faster? You know what? Screw this like 1-tool thing. Power tools were invented for a reason. There we go. All right, moment of truth. Will it close? The first closing of the door. Dang it. It does not close. All right, so I think I have to adjust this up and down a little bit or something. We'll be right back. Well, it would be a good house project if things just worked, right? So here we go. We've got all the things installed the way they're supposed to, and when you close it, it doesn't latch. And if you can kind of see in there, the bolt here is not, it's just a little smidge too low for the hole in the frame here. So it doesn't actually go in there. So my thought is, if I get in here, take out the 3 screws that I have going through the sides here, so this is free on this side again, I can wedge something, use a wedge underneath the bottom of the frame on this side, lift this edge up a little bit, and that should bring the door back into shape the way it's supposed to be. It only needs to move like a millimeter or 1/8 of an inch to make this work. So that's what I'm about to do. You can kind of see it. You can't see it from where you're looking, but up at the top up there, if you were tall enough, you can kind of see it if you were tall enough here, but up at the top, there is a slightly larger gap on that side above the door than over here. And I'm not saying that everything is perfectly square in the first place, but that side needs to come up just a little bit so that the door kind of tilts this way a little bit more, and that will work better. So it can actually make it, yeah, you get the idea. That's what we're going to do. We're going to lift that side of the door just a little bit. See if that was enough. Blocked. So that is enough to make that part work. Now the door is kind of shifted because it's not attached. So okay, that part is good. That height is good to make it latch. I just need to make it a nice and even. Yeah. Bottom over a little bit. Top in this way a little bit. Yeah, that's what it was. All right. I'm going to screw this back in. That should take care of that. Yeah, nice and easy. Not binding up at all. That is a job done. All right. Now to clean up and finally getting to cleaning up and putting away all the crap in the garage. It got shoved everywhere in the process of doing all this. So much room for activities. All right, well, that does it for another awful episode of Home Shop, where I do something that should not have been done that way. And I'm sure anybody who watches this, who knows anything about how to do anything with this, will find a million problems with what I just did. But it worked. So I'm just going to enjoy that as a victory, and we're going to take it as it is. Still have to do a little trim, but I have a door. And I'm going to go enjoy my door in my garage. The garage that now I have to go clean up because it's a total nightmare of a mess. See you guys next time. Maybe.